week 8 of the fantasy football season. Here's a few tight ends I would drop this week. The first guy, O.J. Howard of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So O.J. Howard had a coming out party a couple weeks ago in week 6 at the Philadelphia Eagles, where he had 6 catches, 49 yards, and a touchdown. But week 7 versus the Chicago Bears, he didn't do anything in that game. 1 catch for 9 yards on 3 targets. And Rob Gronkowski, he probably won't come back in week 8 in my opinion, with the Buccaneers bye in week 9. But even if Howard's going to play in week 8 as the starter, even if he does something, it's not going to be much in my opinion here for O.J. Howard, because Gronk after the bye will be back in week 10 in my opinion. So Howard here, it's good to see him back on the field after tearing the Achilles last season. But right here, it's all about Rob Gronkowski being healthy and 100%. And that's going to happen either this week or obviously in week 10. So right here, even like I mentioned, if he's a one more week start here, he's just too inconsistent for my taste, is O.J. Howard. And there's better tight ends available on the waiver wire, so I would drop him this week. The next tight end I would drop Dawson Knox of the Buffalo Bills. So this is if you don't have obviously injured list spots or you got too many buys and have to get rid of them. But Knox has been dropped in 20% of fantasy leagues so far in the last week here. But Knox, he's been off to a good start here, but the reports have come out now that he's expected to miss 3 weeks, and that's a good chunk of time here now. So that'll bring us to about week 11 here where he'll return. And he was having a monster season, as Dawson Knox, on the season for this Buffalo Bill team so far. 21 catches, 286 receiving yards, and 5 touchdowns with a 2-point conversion. So he's had 3 touchdowns in his last 2 games. But now we won't see him till week 11 or week 12 here with that broken hand. And it's a big hit for this Buffalo Bill team and a big hit for fantasy owners, who Dawson Knox really helped their teams win and get in position for each and every week to beat most tight ends at the position in scoring. But right now, with him out and a lot of buys going on and a lot of people dealing with injuries, he's a tight end you might have to part ways with. In the third and final tight end I would drop this week, David Njoku of the Cleveland Browns. And Njoku, he had a couple flashes this season of good games, but really anyone on this Brown team, you can't trust in my opinion, besides obviously a Nick Chubb and maybe Kareem Hunt when he comes back from injury. But Njoku, the last couple weeks here, has been non-existent in fantasy football. Week 5, he had that monster game at the Chargers, but it was a fluke. 7 catches, 149 yards, and a touchdown. And now the last 2 weeks here, week 6 versus Arizona, 1 catch for 6 yards. And week 7 versus the Denver Broncos, 2 catches for 18 yards. So week 8, another tough matchup for Njoku and the Browns versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, who give up the 21st least amount of fantasy points to tight ends. So right here, I don't see him being a factor. Baker Mayfield most likely is out again with Case Keenum at the helm. And it's just a mess over there in Cleveland. So Njoku's a tight end I would drop. So that's a few tight ends I would drop here in week 8 of the fantasy football season.